Welcome to another episode of In the Gardens here at the Amarillo Botanical Gardens. I'm horticulturist Greg Lusk. Today we're going to talk about soil preparation for the upcoming planting season. We're going to do a little planting, but we're really going to focus on soil preparation. That's what you can do right now to be ready for the best growing season you can have. So we've taken this soil, it's just the native earth here in Amarillo, Texas, and we're gonna do the best thing you can do to our native soil. It's really not that bad a soil. People like to cuss it. It is heavy clay, but it is high in nutrients and it does have good water holding capabilities, and it can be amended. That's the good part. We have some really nice amendment here, some compost. That's really well composted down. It's just a mixture of organic materials, plants and stuff, organic composted down. So it's really what you need to use. A good compost like this is made up of organic matter from decomposed plants. It does a lot for the soil. It adds nutrients. It helps the soil organisms proliferate. It also helps take water. Whenever we get those heavy downpours, instead of the water running off, it will help absorb water. It holds water. It just does a lot to the soil structure to make the soil much better for our plants. So this already tilled soil, we added a generous amount of compost. We're going to work it in. We want to work it in. We're going to work it in deep and well. And then one thing I like to do is, I don't like to add a lot of fertilizers, but this is a good one, especially if you're a home gardener. This Osmocote, it's a slow release fertilizer. It's really worth quite a bit because it slowly releases fertilizer through the growing season. So it really takes a lot of that work out during the summer whenever it's hot and you're busy and don't have time to adequately fertilizer. You put a generous layer of this and then work it in as well. It will work throughout the summer, and it really will help you quite a bit. So once you got that all done, we're going to talk about the plants a little bit. So I don't usually like to start with large plants, but it sure is nice to see a garden look great right at the beginning. We're going to take off any faded flowers. There's no reason to, this is the easiest time to do that. Any poor or damaged leaves. Of course, you want to buy good quality plants that are in good shape and not requiring 2 or 3 months to catch up and get in good shape before you plant them. We'll look at the roots here. So the roots are in pretty good shape. There is it's not really root bound too bad. You could break it up a little bit. I hate to see people just destroy a root ball. I see that a lot. People think that they're doing good. But these roots, when you damage them, they have to regrow. And I see a lot of people really tearing up root balls in the name of planting, and I don't like to see that. So you want to dig a plenty big hole. If you've done a good job with your soil preparation, soil's light and easy, it's easy to do. Now depth is very important. This is a little bit deep, which is better than shallow. So you can see here, now you're going to know that this is all going to settle down a little bit. So you want it a little deep because you don't want your plant standing on top of the soil, right? So dig it down a bit. And then the next thing that's important is the potting soil that this plant was planted in is high in peat, almost straight peat. That acts like a wick, and it just wicks the water away from the roots. Right at the root zone, our hot, dry winds, it wicks the water up and dries out the plant right at the root zone where it's the most needed. So you want to cover the soil ball even within the plant with just a little bit of soil, just like maybe a ½ inch, so that it doesn't dry out. Now, I picked several different plants here. One of the reasons I got these marigolds, because they're almost always root bound, and you can see they are a bit. Not terribly. I try not to buy terribly ones. Instead of tearing up the soil, I like to maybe score them with a sharp knife twice. A knife does a lot less damage than just ripping it apart with your hands. And then we're just going to do the same thing. Now get to know your plants, because marigolds can actually root along the stem. So if you plant them a little deeper and pull up a little more soil around them, they'll actually put some advantageous roots out at the soil line, and it'll really help the plant be sturdy and do better. So other than that, we're not going to talk a lot about plants. But after this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mulch around the plant. So I'm going to mulch up to the plant, leave very little space around the plant without mulch. Mulch, we're going to talk about almost any time we garden, the value of mulch. And the mulch could be a wood product. I don't like plastic or rubber products. They're just very unnatural. They don't give any of the benefits. They're just for attractiveness, and you don't have to replace them every year, although they blow full of trash and dirt, and they look bad in a pretty short time. Whether you use the colored mulch or just the natural, that's up to you. The very dark mulches attract a lot of heat. I don't like to see, I know the black mulch looks nice in the yard in some houses. We have a problem with heat. Most flowering plants don't like excessive heat. When you use a black mulch, you're just adding to that heat base there. So I don't like to use the black. I like to use just the natural. But of course, we're gonna mulch this real heavy, and then we're gonna water, and then we're well on our way for the growing season. So don't forget, Garden Fest is coming April 29th. We've got about 30 vendors, lots of beautiful geraniums to support us, some hanging baskets, and some other goodies. The Herbs Society will be there selling herbs. Southwest Garden Club selling their plants and things. Lots of fun. Honey, jams, other plant products. So don't miss that. That is April 29th here at the Botanical Gardens. Starts at 8:30 in the morning, and we just go until sellout, which is usually about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Thanks for remembering us, and we'll see you there.